Welcome. This reading is from the only complete translation of Brother Lawrence called Practice of the Presence, a revolutionary translation by Carmen Acevedo Butcher. Reviewers are calling this new translation by acclaimed teacher and translator Dr. Acevedo Butcher the new standard. Originally written by Nicolas Herman, or Brother Lawrence of the Resurrection, this spiritual classic has diverse global appeal. Listen to Carmen read sections 14 to 16 in the introduction to Practice of the Presence. These are A Barren Tree in Winter and a Dark Night of the Soul, The Monastery at 74 Rue de Vaugirard, and No Shoes, No Satin Coat. A barren tree in winter and a dark night of the soul. But that was not the start of his spiritual life. 8 years before his decision to enter the monastery, 18-year-old Herman had had a profound religious experience. He shared it with his friend Beaufort in their first conversation. One day that winter, a year after the first bubonic plague of his lifetime had subsided, Herman was looking at a leafless barren tree when he realized suddenly and intensely that soon its, quote, leaves would reappear green, and then its flowers and fruits. This moment, quote, lifted him up suddenly to God, and he, quote, received a profound awareness of God's kindness and power that never left his soul. Further intensifying this experience, 4 years earlier, when Brother Lawrence was 14, Nicolas Herman, France had had a, quote, year without a summer. Low temperatures left many crops unripened and people starved. After this, seeing green meant life to him in concrete ways. He said this mystical experience of spring gave him, quote, such a love for God that he could not say it had ever increased over the decades. As often happens in life, that had not made for a direct path for him to certainty or to the monastery. For readers of Practice of the Presence, meeting Nicolas Herman means meeting every floundering soul. He knew anxiety and years of worry. He had an untamed mind. He had a guilty conscience. He felt estranged from God, love, purpose, and meaning. He wrote about his decade-long dark night of the soul from his mid-20s to mid-30s, and his descriptions of that floundering and his soul movement in presence make for powerful reading in this book. The Monastery at 74 Rue de Vaugirard. Readers also witness the healthy spiritual formation and healing that occurred as Nicolas Herman, Brother Lawrence, lived and worked for half a century in the large Paris monastery at the intersection of 21 Rue d'Assas and 74 Rue de Vaugirard. Today, the site is in the city's bustling heart and is home to the Catholic University of Paris. Anyone can walk in the gathered silence of the friars' monastery life by visiting what remains of it: the 1625 St. Joseph Carmelite Church, crypt, corridors, cells, and garden area. This is where he for over 50 years grew his practice of the Presence prayer. Inside this Italian Baroque building with dome, in his simple cell, in the garden and in the kitchen, the friar built up a beautiful soul, one ordinary, attentive moment at a time. Beaufort reveals this in the profile. Quote, Brother Lawrence began by frequently cultivating in his heart this exalted awareness of God's presence contemplated by faith. By continual acts of adoration, love, and requests for our friend's help in what he had to do, he sustained this conversation. Then, after completing a task, he thanked God. Since these spiritual acts were in this way connected with his daily tasks, and since his tasks provided material for these acts. He did his work more easily. Rather than diverting him from his work, his prayers helped him do it well. No shoes, no satin coat. When in mid-August 1640, at the age of 26, Herman entered the monastery and took the religious name of Brother Lawrence of the Resurrection, he embraced owning nothing, not even a pair of proper shoes. Founders of the discalced Carmelite, Teresa of Avila, 1515 to 1582, and John of the Cross, 1542 to 1591, grounded this shoeless poverty in that of the desert mothers and fathers. Discalced, pronounced with the second C soft like S, is Latin for without, dis, shoes, calceus. A calceus was a closed-toed leather boot worn by Roman patricians, senators, and other powerful wealthy people. As a sign of the friar's vow of poverty, for 50 years, Brother Lawrence wore sandals and a brown habit of undyed rough wool. We contrast this garb with the very different Avi Abile, the multicolored, bejeweled satin coat worn in the Sun King's court, 17 kilometers west in the same country, but in another world. During Brother Lawrence's 2-year novitiate, or monastic trial period, he adapted to the structure of a friar's life, aspiring to pray always and everywhere. He attended spiritual formation classes, and daily he observed communal prayer in the liturgy of the hours and Mass, and spent 2 hours in the silent meditation or mental prayer, oration mental, that Teresa defined as a conversation with divine love. He also had regular times for work, study, recreation, and community meetings. Thank you for listening in. Peace to you all.